This might be an obvious one, but the key to finding your own personal style isn't about following the latest fashion trends. It's about wearing the clothes and the items that you most naturally gravitate towards. You've clicked on this video and you're thinking, but I really just don't know what my personal style is, so how can I figure that out? And don't worry. I've got you guys. I'm gonna take you through some tips to help you develop your own unique personal style. All I ask is that you grab a pen, paper, make some notes. I mean, all of it is free, so you might as well just actually try and put it to good use. You know, I like a definition, so I think it makes sense to define what style is. Style refers to a person's particular way of expressing themselves, whether that's through clothing, writing style, or a style of architecture. In the fashion world, style, which is the shorthand for personal style, or the way an individual expresses themselves through aesthetic choices such as their clothing, accessories, hairstyle, and the way they put together an outfit. Someone who is stylish may or may not follow fashion trends, but they always stay true to their own aesthetic. Personal style is about developing a sense of self rather than simply absorbing trends. Another important thing that you should really consider as well. Finding your personal style isn't something that you're going to be able to do overnight, but there are certain strategies that you can do and implement that will help you learn a bit about clothing so that you can make better stylistic choices for the future. First thing that we want to do is to have a look in our wardrobe to see if there are items that we dislike or like. You want to have a look in your wardrobe and see if there are any common themes, maybe hoodies, sweatshirts, joggers, t-shirts. If there are common themes, then it probably means that they'll make up the core of your personal style. If that is the case, all you might want to do is just upgrade a couple of those pieces. For example, from a drawstring hoodie to a hoodie without drawstrings, or from slim, skinnier silhouette jeans to ones that have a wider silhouette. And then secondly, we need to differentiate between the items that we like and the items that we dislike. Are there items that we can take forward into our style revamp? Maybe all you need is a certain pair of trousers that will enable you to wear that cardigan that you stopped wearing or have just never worn. Or maybe it's just an item that you really just dislike. If that's the case, then it's gotta go. It's got to go. Simple. If there's a big pile of items that you want to get rid of, that's a good thing. Even if there are like 30 to 40 items left within your wardrobe, just get rid of them. You know what you like. I wouldn't focus too much on keeping things that you're like, ooh, I might wear that. If you haven't worn it in like 3-6 months, then you don't really need it in your wardrobe. Just make sure that you block out all of the noise. Influencers, bloggers, creators, people that you follow online, fashion trends, don't worry about them. I mean, there were trends like not even Nike Dunks, what am I thinking about? The Air Maxes, 95s, 96s, whatever, 98s, I can't even remember all of these Air Maxes, Dunks. They were all a period of time. Things are a period of time and then they move on. Just stay true to what you know you like. I talked about silhouettes in a previous video, and basically what silhouette is if you had to draw the outline of your clothing on a flat piece of paper, or a flat line drawing of the outline of your clothing. A flat line drawing of the outline of your clothing. Simple. And this ties in really nicely from my first point where I was talking about looking in your wardrobe. You need to identify those silhouettes that you do like, the ones that you don't like, and silhouettes that you would probably like to try in the future. You want clothes that are going to fill you with confidence. If there are silhouettes, clothes that don't fill you with confidence, then there's no need for them to be there. There are so many shapes, fits, and cuts, but just have in your mind something that you know that you want to try and then go from there. So just take your time. If you're not ready to go to full wide leg trousers, gradually wider as time goes on. 9 to 10 inches in terms of the width of trousers at the leg opening, pretty good sweet spot for me. There's good and bad to influencers, creators and stuff like that. The good thing is that they can provide so much inspiration. So go on Pinterest, go on Instagram, TikTok, wherever it might be, and just build some ideas that you want to experiment with. Finding inspiration was so important for me because I like to actually see things on screen rather than imagine them. I need to actually physically visualize them. Like, let's take for example, if you go on to a website and you're looking to buy a piece of clothing or an item, if it's not on a model, then you're probably less likely to cop it. If it is on a model, provided that the sizing is right and it looks good on you when it comes, then you're going to be more likely to purchase it. There's so many ways that you can find inspiration online, especially with so many creators out there, you know, the likes of Paul Bingham, Tim DeSaint, Daniel Simmons, Harry Haas, Dion Hinton, so many great people, especially within the male niche, that you can find inspiration from. But what I don't want you guys to do is just copy the creator exactly. It might look good on them, but it might not necessarily look good on you when you purchase it, so it's a waste of money. You might then copy it and then you might not gravitate towards it. You might not be able to style it. So again, another waste of money. And if you do copy them, it just looks like you lack originality. Take inspiration, take pieces of things that they do well, and then combine them all to find your own personal style. Pinterest is also another great source of inspiration. I literally use that app every single day. And what I would recommend is downloading the app so you can have access to it really quickly. You can put things into boards, pins, whatever, just so that you can always refer back to them and keep them in little subcategories for different occasions or events if you do want to do that. And whilst we're on the subject of Pinterest, if you haven't been following me, then make sure that you do. Link is below. Appreciate it. And I can't tell you how much of a great source of inspiration that Pinterest is. It's like 10/10 app. Other things that you might want to do and other people that you might want to follow in terms of gaining more inspiration is following stylists who have perfected their craft over many years. And then in addition to that, sites like End, Arkit, all of those sites where the stylist has put some outfits on the models, I'll use that as inspiration as well. It's all about trial and error, so you're gonna make mistakes. Just experiment. Experimentation is so important and obviously cannot be overlooked. Let's say you've got to the point where you have identified the items that you like and the items that you dislike, and you've realized that maybe 70% of your wardrobe you dislike. And for those that are thinking, man, I don't really have a lot of items left in the wardrobe that I'm gonna wear, that's a good thing. There's no point having a wardrobe full of items that you haven't gravitated towards in recent times. You're not gonna wear them. Even if it's 20 to 30 items that are left, at least you know you're gonna get a good wear out of them. It means that there's cohesion, but it also means that you're ready to find your new style and make a change. Don't be affected by other worldly things, social media and whatnot. Don't worry about what other people think and what their opinions are. Dress for yourself. So at this point, you need to put some work in. And you need to drag your lazy ass outside, get to some shops, try on some clothes, feel the fabric. Even though I say that, I'm just thinking, like, you don't necessarily need to go out. If you prefer online shopping, then order a bunch of clothes in. Just find the process of like returning and all of that and waiting for your money to come back. A little bit tedious, but things like Klarna do exist at the end of the day. You also don't want to cop really expensive pieces. Your budget is, I don't know, like ASOS, Primark, then stick with that. Even if your budget isn't, don't go out and splash cash. Keep it economical at first. If you do like that style, then invest in those lifelong pieces. There is absolutely no rush to change. We're always evolving as individuals. Like, look at yourself like 10 years ago, what you looked like then and how you dressed then. And then look at yourself now, how you look like now and how you dress then. If you find that you want to experiment with different styles, then maybe you want to create mood boards for these different styles that you want to try out. Some people have different styles, different looks that they want to achieve for certain days or particular occasions. Like for me, I probably have a few styles, maybe something a little bit more casual, like joggers, sweatshirt, maybe t-shirt, jacket with some trainers, something a little bit more elevated or smarter, where I would opt for boots, loafers, smart pair of trousers, and then I don't know, a jacket on top. And then somewhere that's a little bit in between would be boots, loafers, or some smart elements such as that, mixed in with casual elements like a cap or a t-shirt, just to tone it down a little bit more. All of these things that I've mentioned in previous videos and shown you examples of. And in theory, you could create a mood board for each and every one of these styles, but you don't need to be that meticulous and that pedantic about it. You can just put all of your ideas that relate to clothing in one board, just so that it's in one easy area for you to access. Another thing is making bookmarks or saving a post on Instagram or TikTok so that you can always refer back to it. And this is something that I do on a daily basis, and all of my get ready with me's, or if I'm just going out and about, I'll probably just pull up Pinterest, TikTok or Instagram just to give me some ideas in terms of what I want to dress like for that particular day. It really just helps just having something that's easy and accessible to always refer back to. That's why I really love mood boards as a means to just developing inspiration. I don't even know, developing inspiration? As a means to something, inspiration. With the mood boards, you might want to create boards for your style uniform. And style uniforms, if you've been watching this channel, that is, then you'll know it's something that I have spoken about previously. A uniform is basically a distinctive set of clothes that are worn by an organization or a company. But in your case, and in this case, you are the company and you are setting the uniform. But going back to the mood boards, you might want to create different boards for different style uniforms that you might have, maybe casual, maybe smart. If you do want to mix it up and you don't want to just have one single style uniform, you want to have like maybe 2 or 3 max. You guys already know what my style uniform is and what it kind of consists of. Boots, loafers interchangeably, or if I want a little bit more of a casual aesthetic, then I'll opt for trainers. Remember that you can switch the brands within your uniform, maybe boots with a zip, maybe slip-on boots, maybe Chelsea boots, maybe a cropped hoodie, maybe a hoodie with drawstrings, maybe a hoodie without drawstrings. Not too much for me to say on uniforms, I'll just refer you to this video right here. Maybe you're adding some interest to your uniforms by having 2 or 3 looks, but another way that you can add interest to your uniforms and your outfits in general is by adding pops of color. Now, I've talked about pops of color in a previous video, so I won't go into too much detail on it. However, I'm not gonna sit here and be like certain skin tones and certain skin types should gravitate towards certain colors, and I'm not gonna be like, hey, look at the color wheel. Have a look at, I don't know, things that are opposite each other, as they should complement each other, like purple and yellow. I certainly have never used the color wheel, and I doubt that you will. Inspiration is way easier, and just colors that you think will match nicely together. I've always been a very monochromatic person and haven't gravitated towards color a lot, but I am starting to introduce that into my outfits, and accessories is a really easy way to do so through caps and bags. I think those are the 2 easiest ways. So accessories is just a nice slow way to introduce things. But if you don't want to do that, then stick to the monochromatic looks at first and then introduce color slowly. Fashion is subjective at the end of the day, so it is really down to your own choice what colors that you do want to wear. Maybe your style is going to be very eccentric and out there and very bold, and you do want to wear orange, red, green. Do you? Last tip, and a really important one, stick to the brands that really complement you and that you like to shop from. There's not going to be one place that you're going to buy all your items from. It's more likely that you're going to have a pool of 3 to 5 places that you're going to typically shop from, because these outfits, the drop, the silhouette, the cut, the shape, the feel of the material just really fills you with confidence, and that is exactly what we want. If clothes are filling you with confidence, then you need to keep going back to those clothing stores and keep copping those items. Some of the places that I typically go to, and you guys will know all of these stores, will be Uniqlo, Weekday, COS, Arket, Olive Clothing. In terms of vintage stores and secondhand, be going to Depop, ASOS Marketplace, eBay. Other ones that I don't typically shop from but should check out anyway are Vestiaire and Vinted. Please do remember, especially for vintage clothes and just clothes in general, that everything isn't going to just fit you perfect. If it doesn't fit you perfectly, just remember that the tailor is there, or just tailor it yourself, or learn to how to tailor it yourself. For simple things like the hemming of trousers. And whilst we're on this subject of tailoring, and something I probably should have mentioned earlier on in the video, is if you do find that there is a pile of clothes that you dislike for whatever reason, maybe this shirt is too long, the t-shirt is too long, maybe the trousers are a bit too wide, you can just crop the t-shirt, narrow the trousers, can maybe just come into play again, and there you go. You've given that item a second life. I've given you the information, and now it's time for you to take action, and I really hope you do. I really want that new and improved style for you. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm going to help you to take the steps to find that new and improved style and to find your own unique style. But the effort is down to you.